Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
A Michelin-star restaurateur allegedly stood over his British sous chef for 10 minutes before calling an ambulance after running him over twice with his Land Rover while drunk in Belgium, it has been reported. Nick Brill, 40, the owner of the Jane in Antwerp, allegedly stood over Joe Claridge, 37, who lost his legs and some internal organs after the accident, for 10 minutes and 8 seconds before sending a text saying, "I don't think we'll keep the intern." The accident is said to have happened in a private staff car park outside the two Michelin-starred restaurant The Jane at around 6 a.m. on Monday, January 8. The emergency services were only called after Brill was urged to do so by a second person, and when they arrived, he did not reveal he had run the British man over, saying only that he was drunk, according to local reports which say they are based on judicial sources. This is despite the fact that he had been holding his phone because he previously took a photo of the victim on the ground, according to the reports. Het Lots News said it was told by judicial sources that the investigation also showed Brill even sent some shocking messages after the accident, according to local media, with one saying, "I don't think we will keep Joe as an intern." Brill reportedly sent a group WhatsApp made up of staff at the Jane Gourmet restaurant the following message: "Guys, I just finished up with our new intern. Complete KO. An ambulance and the police, everything involved. I don't think we'll keep Joe as an intern." Brill also reportedly told the authorities, "1 glass of wine, then 2 Negronis and 2 beers. Then I finished with a few shots of tequila with the team. I can't say how many. I think I was still able to drive." Claridge was also reportedly drunk that evening as it was a Sunday, when the staff traditionally finishes off the opened bottles of wine and champagne. The after-party then continued until the early hours and at 6 a.m., with 8 still people present. His colleagues called Claridge a taxi and saw him stagger to the taxi stand in front of the restaurant as they departed, but at some point he fell to the ground. CCTV seen by investigators reportedly revealed what happened next, although it does not show exactly how Claridge fell. A short while later Brill appears, closing the restaurant door and heading to his Land Rover. At 6:20 a.m., Brill reverses and turns his car around right where Claridge is lying. He then stops, with Claridge lying between the front and rear wheels of the Land Rover, it has been reported. Brill then drives forward and runs over the victim a second time with the same wheel, before driving on a bit before stopping the car. The chef then reportedly got out and walked over to Claridge, with the footage showing the latter still moving on the ground. Brill said that he tried to wake him up, but that didn't work and I panicked. At 6:29 a.m., a jogger appeared and spoke to Brill, wondering why an ambulance had not been called. The jogger told local media that Brill said, "I have a new phone and I can't use it properly yet." The jogger then walked to the front desk of a nearby hotel and asked them to call the emergency services. Brill does not mention the accident and instead portrays Claridge as simply a drunk man lying unconscious in the street. Brill takes another photograph of Claridge before calling the emergency services as the jogger walks back from the hotel, precisely 10 minutes and 8 seconds after he noticed Claridge lying on the ground behind his vehicle, according to local media. He reportedly tells them there's a drunk man in the street, but again he doesn't talk about running him over. The ambulance arrived 10 minutes later, with Brill still not telling them about running Claridge over with his Land Rover. The medics put Claridge on a stretcher and began caring for him in the ambulance. They then noticed that Claridge is seriously injured and call the police. Brill meanwhile is sitting in his car with the engine ready to drive off, with only the ambulance blocking his way. The police however breathalyzed him with 1.67 per milliliter of alcohol in his blood. The legal limit in Belgium is 0.5 per milliliter. After the accident, Claridge's mother immediately traveled to Belgium to watch over her son in hospital until he woke up from a coma 50 days later. Claridge reportedly lost several organs in both